My boyfriend has really rapey behavior. Trigger warning: rape. I've been friends with this guy for 3 years now and I liked him a lot. Now that we got into a serious relationship about 4 months ago, I started to notice many things that are catching me off guard and like creeping me out. Edit to include age: I am 24 female and he's 28 male. This actually happened last night that made me think about it for the whole day. I was at my friend's house and her sister recently died, so I was kinda there to provide emotional support. This is also a really sensitive time for me. He knows I was there last night, and when I was still there he texted, "When you're done call me so I can get you, and I am gonna rape you so hard." I was so weirded out, I don't know what the word I can use to explain the feeling I got, but I had to change the way I was sitting because it made me feel so weird. He usually says things like this but I brush it off or just ignore it even though it weirds me out so much. My friend was right beside me and she could see I got all awkward and that I was trying to hide the notification. She asked what was wrong and I explained it to her. She got so defensive over it and told me his behavior is such a red flag and the fact he fantasizes rape is creepy. "You're going to beg for me to stop but I want. Isn't that like, rape?" He also speaks of sexual things in the most inappropriate timing and when I tell him to stop he tells me to like shut up or something. Is this considered CNC cuz I know there's some people that are into that? I don't know how to act honestly. I know if I speak to him about it being weird he'll stop saying it, but like deep down he'll still be into that? Has anyone had a similar experience to this or can tell me if this is a red flag or just a kink? Even though it's so unusual to me and makes me uncomfortable. I need to add that I appreciate everyone who is helping me out. I needed this push more than you can imagine. Thanks so much everyone! I completely agree that is abhorrent language, imagery to use. You tried telling him to stop using it. He responded with "shut up." If both partners in a relationship agree that this is something they share as a kink, that's one thing. As long as it doesn't affect the way they see saw imagery outside of a mutually agreed upon relationship and are both adults and capable of full consent, then I can picture it being okay. But he responded to you setting a perfectly reasonable boundary by immediately disregarding it. That's not the behavior of someone I'd want in my life. It's only CNC if you are into it and have agreed to it. I'd be worried about when, and there absolutely is a when, he actually will rape you. Big blaring red flags here. This guy's a creep. CNC requires prior agreement and drawing of boundaries, not to mention proper safe words. It doesn't sound like you've established any of these. Your boyfriend isn't being kinky, he's being reckless, and he's being unusually egregious about it. It's basically just dumb luck that you happen to have been consenting whenever he was feeling rapey up till this point, because if you weren't, I'm not sure he'd care. Believe him. He is telling you who he is, believe him. This is very likely the result of some fucked up fetish, sadism, misogyny and loads of porn. Run away as fast as you can. He will rape you if you give him the chance. This is not just talk. This is what he wants to do with you. Please leave him. These comments are at a level where you should be screenshotting and sending them to an adult you trust and knows you both that can take the appropriate course of action and that can talk to him. If you're still in school, this might be somebody at school. Please I cannot stress this enough, he is telling you who he is. Do not brush these comments off. He will rape you and he will continue to rape other girls after you break up unless he gets help. Well, you haven't discussed it beforehand, you're not also into it and willingly engaging in it or seeking it out, so no, it's not consensual. Unless this is your fetish and you've asked him to talk about raping you, in my opinion this is crossing the line of consent and a really good reason to distance yourself from someone. I think you're right, if you ask him to stop he might stop, but he'll probably also continue to fantasize about hurting you and other women. My advice, when people show you who they are, believe them. Period. Dude's a creep. This guy is a fucking creep and being in his presence is dangerous. This is extremely concerning. No, that is not normal. The fact he'd even say that while you were at your friend's house during a sensitive time is very insensitive. Please get far away from this guy. Anyone that tells you they're going to rape you, not stop when you say no, and then tells you to shut up when you ask them to stop is not someone you should be dating. And it's not CNC, because your entire post at least heavily implies you're not okay with his behavior. This is firmly no consent to non-consent territory emo. Not okay. Girl, break up with him like yesterday. This is a threat to your safety. I'm worried for you. Break up with him in a public place or over text and make sure he can't contact you again. Tell all your friends and family to never give him any information about you. Can you please pop a trigger warning up, lovely? Not sure if 82 comments is enough encouragement for you to run away from him. I am a 36-year-old and have met similar type of guy. With this experience I am telling you to run. If your safety is a concern to leave him, get help from your close ones and make some plan. Run. If he joked about smothering babies or lighting puppies on fire, I'm sure you'd run for the hills. Your response should be the same in this situation. Run for the fucking hills. No, this is not consensual non-consent because you're not consenting. Even if it was a kink, it's something you need to speak about and each has to have informed consent, boundaries, safe words, etc. So it's a major red flag that at best, he's got a taboo kink and isn't respecting boundaries or engaging in it in a healthy way, or at worst, is genuinely rapey. Either way, not okay. This gives me Night Stalker vibes. It's not rape and creepy when he straight up promises to rape you. That's just rape. If you're into rape roleplay as a kink, by all means, enjoy. But communicate about it, do it in a safe manner, don't spring it on your partner without their consent because that's just straight up rape. Okay, so, I agree you should stay vigilant, but I don't want to jump to conclusions here. It could very well be that this is the kind of dirty talk that he got used to in a previous relationship. Consensual non-consent and rape role play are things that some people do and that don't mean that they would ever actually hurt anyone. I say talk to him about it, say you're not into it, it's not for you. Be clear about it but don't be accusatory. And then you watch if he refrains from speaking like that. And if he ever, even once, actually disregards your consent, you get out of there. And obviously if you already just felt too unsafe to remain in the relationship, you also get out. Good luck to you, heart. That's a pretty massive red flag. And some klaxon alarms. And spinning red lights. A booming voice repeating danger. Danger. You've already talked to him, he didn't listen. He can't make it any clearer that your consent and comfort doesn't matter to him, while he repeatedly threatens to fucking rape you. Drop this one. CNC is used if both partners are into it. It doesn't sound like you're into it, and if you were, there's a time and a place for play. If you wanted this kind of behavior during sex, then you two would talk about boundaries and create a safe word. Without your desire to, and without that conversation, it is just plain wrong. I would either talk to him, get out of that situation, or both. You sound like you know what you have to do. We support you leaving him. It's not okay, and even if you have a discussion with him and says he will stop, you will always have it in the back of your mind. Don't be a victim, be empowered to be safe. It's the most important thing here. I personally don't go out with rapists. Don't walk. Fucking run. With his aggressive behavior and wording, I would assume that he has little to no respect for women, girls. What he's saying aren't jokes, it's threats, he's threatening to rape you. To take your control away. It wouldn't be surprising if he has a history of rape. He's a predator. Unless you have consented to this behavior, I would not see him anymore. If you fear him getting angry, I would not see him anymore. Please stay safe and keep away from him. I think when your boyfriend freaks you out and makes you feel unsafe, you don't need any other reason to end things. I feel like your instincts are screaming at you, but you're ignoring them. Don't ignore them. You guys are just on different wavelengths sexually. He is way off on one side of the spectrum with his rapey talk and behavior. I'd be talking to a therapist or counselor about it because this just isn't normal. You need to protect yourself before you get hurt. Oh no. No normal man talks like this. You should GTFO like now. He either has a weird sense of humor or rape fantasies. Rape fantasies are not unheard of, but also consider that maybe this is learned behavior from an ex. This is relevant if he's not very experienced and doesn't know how to communicate sexual intentions. Maybe he's been told women like this kind of talk. TBH, I've been told that very thing. You know what's really in his mind by the way he treats you during sex and how the chemistry flows. Also, if an ex of his wanted to be talked to that way or even liked it a little rough, he may be carrying that over without even realizing it. Either way, you're obviously uncomfortable with it, so it has to stop. Be gentle, he's gonna feel like a small person when he finds out how you feel. That is, he should. Well, time to kick him out of your house. Girl. My ex-boyfriend and I had a very rough, daddy-dom relationship. But we established boundaries, had a safe word, and whenever I felt it was too much, I'd say stop. He'd stop, say sorry, kiss me, give me cuddles, and we'd have normal sex. It takes trust and consent. What your boyfriend is doing is definitely not CNC. It's a kink if you are into it and you aren't, and he seems to be imposing it on you. Also, him telling you to shut up when you tell him it makes you uncomfortable is clear abuse. Girl, please. Run. This guy is violating your trust and your boundaries. Please leave this abusive relationship. I was like your boyfriend in my first relationship. I had an outrageous sense of humor and I didn't understand how that would make her feel. I was horny a lot and stupid enough to think that saying dominant and nasty stuff like that would turn her on. Boy, was I wrong, and I deeply regret the things that I said, even though I would never even imagine doing anything so awful. For the idiots like me out there, don't talk like people do in porn. It comes across as creepy and gross. If your boyfriend is a socially awkward, sedentary, horny, and insecure dude, sit him down and ask him what he was thinking when he said that and give him serious negative feedback. Guys, especially the ones that sit at home all day detached from reality, don't always think about how very real rape is for women. Leave that relationship and never look back. Massive red flag. I would say he is 100% serious. From the wording and the frequency of these messages, I would say he is subtly trying to desensitize this word with you. It makes it much easier for abusers to convince their victims that they consented and were not raped. Run for the hills. Do yourself a favor and dip, dude's a rapist. If you stay with a guy like this, you're leaving yourself open to getting raped. Open and shut case. Good luck, op. Doesn't matter if it is a kink, it's not a kink you are into, therefore it is a red flag. Sounds like he has a kink that he's never explained to you and doesn't respect that you're not into it. And that's okay that you're not into it. Him not respecting that is an issue, however. Has he openly said he's into rape fantasies, or he just speak that way? I'm not saying he's right at all, but if you say something to him, he might stop and not actually deep down be into that. It might just be his stupid way of talking, thinking it's hot cause they talk like that in porn or cause his friends speak that way and he thinks it's cool. First stop dating this guy. He literally threatened to rape you. This is wrong in so many ways. He doesn't care about you, he literally sees you as a sex object. You should not be afraid of the person you are with, you deserve more than that. Second, tell your friends, tell whoever you live with that it's why you won't date him anymore, just in case he does something and you can go to them. This sounds like a kink to me. CNC is one of the most common kinks for women and he might be under the impression that you're into it. Clearly he should have asked first, but I don't think he is dangerous just based on that comment. It's kinda missing the first C in CNC. You know. C as in consensual? Strange guy. That's all I can say. You need to ghost him. Starting today. Seriously. Save those texts from him forever. I guarantee you in the future you will need them to corroborate when a victim of his comes forward. A 4-month relationship is nothing compared to the potential of years dealing with PTSD from being assaulted by this guy. Break it off while you still can. To make yourself feel that you gave him a chance, sit down and talk about consent in a relationship. Ask him what it means in the context of that text. The quality of his answer will tell you all you need to know. This behavior is so concerning a verified crisis counselor is watching this thread. You need to get out and he needs help before he escalates. Geez, lady, why do you even have to ask, seek advice? You enjoy verbal abuse? The only thing you need to tell this guy is to lose your number and block him everywhere. CNC requires prior consent and clear boundaries laid out. This is a predator grooming you to accept sexual abuse and playing it off as it's just the way he is. You need to get out ASAP. Also, having sex because you are afraid of his anger is not consent. What would you tell your friend if she were being treated this way? www.rain.org. If you fear turning him down because he might get angry and he threatens you with rape in a semi-joking manner or otherwise, this is a massive red flag of titanic proportions. This is the guy your mother warned you about. You are not safe with him. He does not respect you. He does not respect any women. Sometimes in relationships when things aren't going well, it's good to work it out and open up the communication. This right here must be a non-negotiable. This is not a relationship we're saving, and you shouldn't try. Pack your bags and get the fuck out of there.